Students, again, we now want to look at our course outline. And again, before I give this course outline, I may have to remind students of some one or two things. That this semester started in January 26th, and we were to finish it by April, so that the first 2 weeks of May we do our exams. Unfortunately, by reaching March, all of us know what happened, and that COVID came in. And when COVID came in, it changed everything, and we could not proceed doing what we were to do. So this is the longest semester we've ever had, an elongated semester, but we shall have to make do with it because that is what it is. Anybody like me there who has even forgotten which university is now in? It is possible to forget because most of you have said on the social media that you are now digging, that you are now taking care of cattle. Some of you are weeding for others to raise money. And with all those kind of things, you may completely have failed even to remember. Some of you have been taking care of COVID patients. Some of you are just coming from quarantine and all sorts of things. I hope God has taken care of you and nobody is coming from the ICU. But if you're coming from the ICU, God has still taken care of you. We should pray for our country. We should pray for our university. So far, the university, we've lost nobody. And we thank God for that. If there is any student or parent who has passed on, we pray for that family that they be given strength. Above all, God is in control. For those who have forgotten the university they are in, may I remind you that you are in the University of Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, abbreviated as MMUST, read as MUST. You are in the School of Computing and Informatics. And the department, you are in the Department of Computer Science. This course is known as SIK 423. And SIK 423, the course title is Software Metrics. Sometimes students wonder why we repeat this kind of obvious issues that you are in the university and that you are in the School of Computing. When we give you assignment, some of you return your assignments written there, School of Computer Science, others will write there, Department of Sky. So to avoid all those anomalies, it's very important that you know your school well, you know your university well. Some students, we've been asking them which school do you belong to when they are having problems to link onto the ODEL platform, and they tell you, I'm in the school of MUST. So that shows clearly that students do not really get very clear difference between a school and a university. Your university is Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, and your school is School of Computing and Informatics. Department is Computer Science, and the degree you are doing is called Information Science and Knowledge Management. Your lecturer remains Apollo Aliaro. My email, you know it, awaliaro@moves.ac.ke, and my phone number is 0728 727228. Those details you have them, but it's a recap so that we move together. Our lecture hours. Our lecture hours have always been Tuesdays, 7 to 10 in ECA 002. But this time, we may have to maintain the same lecture hours, but then it will be on virtual platform. These virtual platforms will keep on changing. Sometime we may have it on Zoom, sometime we may have it on Odel, and sometimes we may have it on video like this one. And in this video, I have just used my phone Samsung S20 Ultra. If you know it, it gives very nice images and everything, sounds, light, and that's why you are able to see probably very clear images and very clear sound coming from the lecturer. I may also now move beyond that, and now we try to see what is our course outline. In our course outline, we shall begin by introduction, and I'll tell you that this course introduces students to specific concepts of software metrics, such as PAT, COCOMO, Six Sigma, among others. Course objectives, you need to know that at the end of this course, you, the student, you should be able to do about 4 things. 1, you should be able to list and explain the various common software metrics. And number 2, you should be able to describe the theory of measurement and metrics. And number 3, you should be able to derive a sample software cost based on software cost estimation models. And lastly, you would be expected to estimate various software project parameters. And those are the 4 things that we are going to handle in the course of the entire semester. Probably we need to move on to the next part, and in this next part we shall try to look at the course content. Now, in the course content, we are going to look at common software metrics. Another area we shall look at limitations of the metrics. Then we shall look at gaming metrics. Then we shall look at balancing metrics. After that, we shall move on to look at theory of measurement and metrics. And then we shall look at experimental design and data analysis. We shall also look at operational profiles and usage specifications. There is also an area known as statistical usage testing and reliability estimates, and then estimation of project parameters. And usually, in project parameters, we shall be concerned about several things, but 3 of which are outstanding. So 1 is the cost of the project, 2 is the duration of the project, and then we shall also look at the effort of the project. How much effort have you put in that project? Then we shall look at what we call defect tracking, because all those are various metrics. In defect tracking, we shall use what we call Six Sigma. This is a proven method. It has some kind of metric to see software quality. And then you look at software costing. In software costing, you look at the process capability model, you look at the paradigm, and then you look at cost and size drivers. So process capability model is trying to look at the process you go through before you make the software can make the software to be more expensive or less expensive. When you talk about paradigms, we have various paradigms. For example, initially we began by procedural programming, and then we moved. That was a paradigm shift. Then now we shifted and we came to object-oriented. So if you are taking the object-oriented paradigm, or you're taking the procedural paradigm, again, the cost of that software is likely to be affected. And now we have what we call the cost and the size drivers. The cost, if the cost is high, we have the driver that can drive the cost. And if the size of the software is big, we have also something that will affect the cost of that software. So with those remarks, we may now have to say that we are ready to move on. Maybe we may also look at the delivery methods. Mostly, as I've told you, I will use lectures like the one I'm using, but all these lectures are going to be either on video or they will be using one of the online platforms. Number two, we shall also have group discussions, and in the group discussions, you are going to group you, and we shall discuss with each group so that we come up with a better understanding of the concept.